All right, this is our third video in the series, and it's called Thriving Through Relatedness, Expanding Belonging, Caring. So just to review, what do we mean by thriving? By thriving, we mean enjoying and looking forward to your skillful work, you're giving and receiving care, and you're taking responsibility for commitments and choices, competence, relatedness, autonomy. All right, so what is relatedness? Relatedness is the quality and quantity of my relationships to myself, family, friends, peers, neighbors, communities, institutions. Uh, it's an essential element of thriving because it provides a strong sense of belonging that I belong here in the world. I belong at St. Mark's. I belong in Dallas, in America, in my family, in my neighborhood. It gives me a place, and it significantly expands the meaning in our lives because we get, through empathy and compassion, we get to actually share in the lives of other people and they get to share in ours. And so we not only get our life, we get the lives of the people we relate to in many ways as well. And it also leads to competencies of care as you learn to care for your friends and your family and people at work, and it's just a profound delight in competence as well. So relatedness and competence overlap there. So there's another virtuous circle here. You know, I engage and develop good relationships with my teammates in a sport, say, just randomly. Well, one of those teammates encourages me to join the yearbook because he's in it and he loves it. So I join the yearbook. And lo and behold, I develop some good relationships with people in the yearbook staff. One of those guys asks me to join his math study group or asks me to join Scientific Marksman or whatever it might be, right? So those of you who have gone through this for a while, you realize relationships build relationships build relationships, and if you wait a long time to start, you don't get as far out. So there's a great virtuous circle here. So my own experience, again, really flawed in this category. I spent a lot of time alone when I was little. Didn't learn how to make friendships and was always behind as a child and as an adolescent in really knowing how to make friendships and make relationships and seek them out. It wasn't until my 30s till it really dawned on me that you could actually be purposeful about making friendships, and in some sense as an adult needed to be purposeful about it. So you set out to make friendships along with the ones that just might happen, but you can actually decide, I'm going to try to be friends with this person. I'm going to try to have a close relationship with this institution. I'm going to develop a relationships with this club or whatever. You could really choose to do that. I waited till my 30s to do that, and glad I started. But wow, I wish I would have known how to do this when I was like 6 years old. So here's a bunch of my most meaningful relationships, from my family to my friends to St. Mark's as an institution to Dallas and America, and my wife's family and lots of my former students, and some real close friends of former students. Just lots and lots of people, sort of more people than I can have the time to stay in touch with. But wow, have they expanded my life having these relationships in huge ways. So we're going to ask you to have some goals here, to develop an academic relationship, to develop a relationship with a community of people, and develop a personal relationship with a friend. My own goals for the year along those lines, my academic goal is to get a lot closer with middle school at St. Mark's, Mr. Lang and Mr. Clayman and Miss Clayton, especially as I teach exclusively middle school this year for the first time. Really getting to know them better and see what I can add to the mix and what I can bring from what they know to my own work. The community I want to get more involved with is Philosophy Club, which I've been very involved with over the years. Last year, because of COVID, it slipped at the end of the year, and this year with COVID hanging around, it's not clear what's going to happen with Philosophy Club. So I want to double down and make sure, whether it's through Zoom or in person or whatever, that we can make that work this year. And then personally, my spouse and my two new twins that I got in March, that those are what I want to focus on. Especially, my spouse and I got to live a life of like 5 nights a week date night until we had kids, and now we're trying to adjust, and keep that great personal relationship going, along with all the time we spend taking care of our kids. So that's going to be a challenge, and taking care of the kids is a huge relationship as well in my life. So, what does relatedness mean to me? Well, it means it means belonging. It means expansion. I get up in the day. Most of my day is spent caring for people and relating to people. From the time I get up and I go check on my kids and wake them up, and be with my spouse and take care of the kids, and go to school and teach and relate to kids and colleagues, and maybe tutor some, and then come home and be with my family again. So I'm just with people all day, and taking care of them, and it makes me feel like I belong in this world, because these people, they need me and I need them, and we share this world, and I belong here. And um, because I know them so well and care about them, I actually get to share in their lives, and their joys and sorrows and sufferings and triumphs are very much mine, because I care for them, and identify with them through all of that work. And I've also just gotten a lot better skilled at dealing with the world, and develop my competence through all of the relatedness and learning how to care for those people. So, takeaways. You should be able to recall our discussion of thriving and put it in your own words. Recall our discussion of relatedness and put it in your own words. Like, what is it? How would you explain it to a friend? Explain why relatedness is important to thriving. Explain how relatedness often leads to more relatedness. And then choose a relationship in your academic life, another in your communal life, another in your personal life, which you want to develop this year to belong more. Outline a plan of action for each goal.